This is it. One of my biggest projects, my pride and joy and biggest pain in my neck. Yes, I have built this project. It has been a long project, and it has gotten very big. It's gotten quite big, and I kind of don't know what to do with it because every time I try to work on it, it ends up taking forever. But I think it looks awesome. So today, what we are going to do is we're just going to focus on one small element of it, which is the floor, and we're gonna do it to near completion. Now, I could just open the floodgates right here and right now, and then just kind of improvise my way through this, but it will be very difficult to make it look nice after I do that, because working in water is a complete pain in the neck. So, off to a creative testing world. We are going to experiment with ways to make this look interesting. Alright, test trial number 1. That looks really interesting. And lit up water, I can actually see it with the shader pack. So, that is good. That means I can do something to the water, and if it's lit up, I'll be able to see it. That is exciting. Well, now that gives me a general idea of what I'm supposed to do, or what I can do. But here's the thing. I don't have a lot of blocks readily available to me. We're going to try kelp. Dried kelp blocks. I can just get a farm and make these. So this is one of those blocks that if I did decide I wanted a lot of it, like, I could easily wind up with more than what I knew what to do with. It's something. What is it? Yeah, let's craft some soul sand. Or soul soil, that works too. I'm liking this. I'm gonna experiment with this. Okay, I hate that. I hate that. It's off-center. And that bothers me. Is it off-center if I do this? Yeah. Okay, kelp blocks is out of the question. We're not doing anything with that. Alright, I got a little bit of a concept idea for you. Honeycomb, blackstone, and also lava. All underneath some framed glass. That's what this is called, by the way. It's one of the mods. This isn't Optifine. It's one of those glasses that, like, basically mimics Optifine glass. But, like, something like this under the water, like, I could see this working, but, like, I don't like the little lines the glass has given us. It's quite problematic, so I need to figure out something to do with this. Okay, glowstone, something, we're working on this here. I don't know what to do. Alright, the honeycomb is an interesting choice. The glowstone... doesn't really work well with the glowstone. Alright, you can see next to nothing right here, but I'm just going to do a little bit of a command here to put some lava under there. Okay, that does not look nearly as good as how I thought it might look. The lava overpowers everything that you see. No matter what I'm going to do, I'm probably not going to be able to see any detail, just a shadow. Alright, we are heading somewhere that I like, but I think this pattern needs to be at the same level as the lava, because when you look at it from an angle, it just looks very unappealing and distorted and stuff. But if you look at it from the top, it looks quite nice. So I'm going to try this again with the pattern a little bit deeper. All right, that hit the money. That is what I'm going for. And it looks just fine from pretty much every angle. And, like, the glass, if it's uniform like this, doesn't really bother me. So I think this is something. This is going to be good. Now I just need to see if that would work with the actual build. Well, I have been thinking about the mood of this whole build, and I decided a lava floor just wouldn't match it, because everything right here is very bright and happy, and there's some contrast, but it's not very colorful. So if I introduce something colorful, I think it's going to be a little strange. Alright, now I have done something rather interesting. I took a basic pattern, this is just like an array of blocks I think that would go well with the build, and I've copied it, put glass over one, and put tinted glass over the other, and we're gonna see... No? No. Okay, I have never used tinted glass before, so bear with me. Alright, well... this is nothing like what I hoped it would turn out to be. Man, I figured there'd be a use for it, but it just looks very dim and dark. Okay, this right here, this is our last resort. It is not a solution that I like. I think it looks kind of weird, but I think what I want to do is I want to have like that moat drip into like the inside of the building, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because this doesn't look all that appealing to me. Now, what I found is polished glowstone. That is good, and if this is lit up, I might have a chance of reviving the tinted glass idea. But the issue is I'm going to need packed ice because the stuff's melting. Alright, this is officially really distracting, but I still want to try it. I gotta know if this works somehow. Alright. Alright, that's interesting. I thought what would end up happening is, like, for some reason I thought that if I had just walked around, I'd only be able to see some parts of it. And, like, you'd have to walk around to be able to discover the whole thing. But I am quickly realizing that that is not indeed how this works. Alright, I've just put a whole bunch of stuff together, and I honestly think that I am better off just having plain water be the bottom of that base. I don't need to do anything fancy. It's incredibly anticlimactic, but I think it's just the way it needs to be. I mean, look at it. There's already so much going on, just with the walls themselves. I don't even need to worry about the floor. I mean, it's just, why stare at the floor? There's nothing interesting about the floor. If the floor is distracting from this crazy stuff, I think it's just going to crash with everything else. Now, as for the block choice, I'm just going to go with black stone because that's relatively easy to gather. Plus, the darker the floor, the better. Scratch that, I already have a bunch of deep slate. So we're going to roll with that. To the mines. Alright, here are the spoils. And these are the rest of the spoils. Not very spoily as far as spoils go, but I would say this is pretty good spoil because, the main reason I went down there is because I needed some deep slate. Is that going to be enough? Sometimes I forget just how big this place is. Well, I must say, it looks really awesome to have a floor right now. I must tell you, I quite like this floor. It's almost a shame that I'm going to flood it later, but you know what? I'll bet that's just going to make it all the more awesome. Otherwise, this is going to be, like, really weird if I don't flood it at this point, because it's so deep. Now, that was a while ago, before I finished this. My friend and I were playing along in a deep dark nearby that is, like, right under my base. And I think there's a warden underneath my floor. I was hearing it just before I started the camera, so I don't know why I'm not hearing it now. There it is. There it is. I think that's a warden. I know we set off a warden right under my base. I'm digging straight down. Do not ever do this on your own. Alright, this is getting annoying. Look at the map. Look at the... Oh, no, hold on. Look at the mini-map, alright? I've been digging around for a fair while, and I can't figure out where this warden is. Am I getting closer to him, farther away from him? I don't know. Oh. Oh, I don't like that sound. I do not like that sound. Oh. I'm gonna be not mad for a second as I deal with the fact that I have extra zinc. Okay. Do wardens just go back underground? Do they just, like, despawn? Okay. I don't hear them anymore. Okay, that's awesome. I'm not about to fit this cave situation. I've made my own burp tunnels. Whatever. Whatever, I don't hear them anymore. That is a precariously deep hole down to death. And in the past, I have had a serious history of falling into one black hole. So that has been dealt with. There's no hole in the base anymore. Unless... Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh, wait, no. There might be burp tunnels behind here. You know the rule for burp tunnels. We don't show those on camera. Those are highly secret and classified. But they're everywhere. And nowhere. Do they exist? Maybe I'm lying about it. Who knows? Alright, but seriously, before I flood this place, I need to do some things first. And flooding needs to be, like, the absolute last phase. So, at least in the floor construction. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to basically take this decorated bit right here, and I'm going to duplicate it over here, here, and here. I'm not too worried about here and here for now, but, like, those two upper levels, I can take my time with those. I'm not particularly worried about that. Whoopsie, the footage corrupted. Well, look at that. It's all nice and decorated. And it took an hour and a half. I watched almost the entirety of Rise of the Guardians in the time it took me to decorate just this one small portion of this big build. This is a huge build. I quite like the build, but it's a lot of work building this. You'd be surprised how long just even a small part of this takes to create. I could build a fancy moat, like drawbridge. I could build a fancy drawbridge. But, like, that's gonna be a real pain in the neck to build. Plus, I don't know how to make it good. Like, we already have this open part right here. What's the point in having another open part? Hold on. I got an idea. Alright, I am gonna have a drawbridge, but it's not gonna be at where this moat ends. I'm actually gonna expand the moat a couple blocks, and then have the drawbridge here. That is a relatively simple solution to my problem. And I quite like the solution. It's a good solution. As far as solutions go, I would say that's a pretty dang good solution. So we're going to go with that solution because it's the best solution I can come up with. Yeah, welcome to my channel. Alright, this does not count as the Great Flood. This is not the great opening of the floodgates, because you don't have any floodgates. This is still the moat. I am expanding the moat, nothing special. No, no, no! No, this doesn't... It was supposed to be special. It was supposed to be a very special flooding of the floodgates, and it happened accidentally. No, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. See, there's no water over here, or over here. This doesn't count as a special flooding. No. Alright, until I can come up with a better solution, I have decided that this will be my gate until I can finish, fixing the moat. Well, I have done pretty much the bare minimum as far as dealing with the moat aspect of this. I mean, you're not going to be spending a lot of time underwater. The whole point is for me to be able to boat in here. But, like, the actual underwater aspect of this, I'm not too worried about. Plus, like, an actual water terraforming project would take absolutely forever. And I'm just not about to open that can of worms right now. I'm not going there. Right now, I'm trying to focus on this build. I can do moat decoration as like a whole nother episode. That sounds like it'd be a really fun episode, but I just don't have the time for that right now. My gosh, I haven't been up here in a while. I forgot just how nice this place has been. I haven't been up here in months. Months! Like, a month and a half at least. Like, this is really nice. Alright, now for the fun part, which is making a really cool drawbridge. And I think it's going to look awesome. I wonder what I can come up with. Alright, I would say that it looks pretty decent. I mean, I kind of liked it when it had, like, an open part, but, you know, I gotta have something keeping the drones out. Alright, now, I actually don't know what this looks like from the outside, so I'm gonna, like, kinda rip off the band-aid. Oh! Okay! Okay, that looks like it's gonna just, like, open up. That looks like a drawbridge. Yeah. Okay, now for the fun part, which is, the redstone and the create mod magic. Yes. Let's do a little bit of magic on this, make it functional. Well, great news. This thing is built, my drawbridge works. However, as soon as I open these doors, I haven't opened them yet, this whole place is gonna flood. And I gotta be ready for that. But, you know what? I think I'm just gonna have to rip the band-aid off. This is beautiful. This place right here, this nice floor, but it's gonna be completely flooded as soon as I open this gate. Which is what I'm gonna do. So, all I have to do is press this button. And you can watch this slowly sink. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, golly. Golly gee, I love this place. Now, I do wonder how long it's going to take for this whole thing to flood. Oh my gosh. It flooded that quick. It is completely filled. Oh my gosh, there must be floating torches everywhere. Criminy. Well, that was actually rather climactic. I'm actually surprised by how quickly that flooded. Jeez, I think this looks good. I'm really excited about this. This place is coming together now. Well, I gotta say, I still have a lot more work to do on here. I mean, for example, this thing is a villager trading center. And it is the most complicated villager trading center I've ever built, and there's not even any villagers in it yet. So, you see the problem. But I think I've done what I needed to do in this episode. I have opened the floodgates. And that is the whole point of what I was doing. That's the whole point of this episode. So, I will leave it there. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.